you know, the one lead that sort of still has is this +2 attack timing, but that does unfortunately mean that he's going to have to make use of that in some way. He has a window where he'll be at +2 and his opponent will still be at just good old +0. And he can do a big pack of damage, but this is why Mutalisks are so effective. You can get up an earlier 4th base, generally not way ahead in the 3rd, but viOLet now has both of those, so he's in excellent shape. Once again, we see the infamous sort of Hydralisk Den, his trademark unit, transitioning to that so early. It is very clear that he's going to be going for a 3-base timing push.
Especially on a map like Entombed Valley, it's so hard to substantiate some sort of claim that, hey, I can go and attack off of 3 bases if you're in Sortof's position. Now, he's going ahead taking a 4th base. He's trying to shark around, just trying to get this up, but of course, it's going to get denied by these mutas. Maybe.
Oh,
yes,
get out of there, viOLet. And he wants to continue to engage, and look at these excellent pressure plays from viOLet. Sacking a few lanes, not a big deal.
Zergling's just making sure those infestors are zoned out, saying, do not pass this line. I'm going to kill your 4th base. I will have the economic advantage. And viOLet just pulling ahead slowly and slowly. This is beautiful. Not even... yes, he's being very aggressive, but it's aggressive economically. He's doing these slight little things to get him a little bit farther ahead each time. And now he's 4 base against, you know, pretty much 3 base. He's going up to 8 gases very soon. And what is he going to do with that?
Well, I mean, right now, he has pretty much free reign to do whatever he wants. Generally, the play is to out-infester your opponent. Already, we're seeing sort of stock up his Hydralisks. I'm very surprised to see him take this 4th base to really try to stretch it to that long term, but this is what makes Sortof excellent. He trusts in his late game play, trusts in the power of his end game composition, is get again ahead in the Hydralisk count. Thrilled to see him upgrading that +1 Carapace, as again, he needs to maintain some sort of big lead, and armor is a great way to do it. Yeah,
Sean, I'm really happy to see just the perseverance of Sortof style. We've seen him not do terribly well throughout this series with his initial opening, but he's saying, okay, I'm just going to play how I always practice. I'm going to play the way I want to play. He has what he needs, and he's just going to play slightly from behind, but at least he's comfortable with it.
Yeah.
He needs to just relax and then to potentially win this. Now, he is behind in gas. Ooh, a little bit of an attack going into the natural.
Oh, looks like he's managed to pick off a couple of drones. viOLet just trying to maintain that gas lead.
Now, there is a point where these mutas will be pretty insignificant. He wants to trade those out. When do you actually trade those out?
I mean, honestly, having them in this battle ends up being pretty much okay, because, I mean, at this point, it's really not a considerable amount of food. And if you're really worried about that max game army engagement, you can just run up while this fight is going on and take them out. But any opportunity you see to trade them, even at a pretty heavy loss to kill off infestors, that's the big target.
Gotcha. Definitely something to keep in mind, but we're in a position where Sortof doesn't really have a great attack plan. Like, he doesn't know where to attack. Not only that, he doesn't have a good place to attack. Entombed Valley is a difficult place to attack just because whenever you're attacking into it, there is potential that your opponent has just a much superior arc. Just like a lot of different...
goodness. Every army edge goes to Sortof now. It's all going to come down to these fungals, and they are tremendous from Sortof. He needs to continue to unleash the infestor energy to shove viOLet back, because the supply right now for Sortof is plummeting. But we do see that it is a lead in upgrades. Yep, it's 0-1 versus 1-2. Sortof needs to keep drilling forward, but viOLet's production is so huge. 41 roaches in production for viOLet.
Jeez, and once that kicks into gear, I don't think he can really keep going from there. Greater Spire has started as well, so he's ready to tech into Hive. On top of that, just having that Hive allows him to tech up his upgrades, so he can gain that slow, gradual advantage, knowing that he has the 7th and the 8th gas over his opponent. That's so substantial. Not only that, the 9th and 10th are very accessible as well, so we're most likely going to see that. I love the spine crawlers over the place, just making sure he is okay against any potential run-bys, etc.
Yeah. You know, in my eyes, the +3 attack upgrade is actually the most important upgrade for Hive, even more so important than Broodlords, because Broodlords don't have the game-ending quality that you feel in Zerg vs. Terran or Zerg vs. Protoss, just due to the fact that the Broodlings don't really do quite as much. Roaches are so nimble, damage, they pick those off and run right on through the attack lines. And it looks like that in attack round 2, Sortof is yet again banking.
Oh, nice job.
Huge pack of units.
And here we go yet again. Great concave with the spine crawlers this time. Is it going to be enough? Infested Terrans being popped out for Sortof, not for viOLet. So this could go very, very well.
Wow.
As the spine crawlers are attacking the infested Terrans first, but great fungal growths from behind are going to keep a lot. 129 roaches in production for viOLet and 3 broodlords. Now you have to be careful. There is such thing as too many broodlords in DBZ.
Yes, specifically the infestors are excellent at taking down broodlords. You can easily hurl a bunch of infested Terrans directly underneath them. A single fungal pins them while they get ripped to shreds. But just a few means that viOLet suddenly is going to go from defense to offense in a hurry.
It gives them the ability to say, okay, I can attack, and you still have to attack into me. Therefore, I can place my units in a great position, get the better concave, and from there, I can obviously do more damage against you. I love this. Just small little trades. Remember, he has the ability to trade out these roaches for, let's say, infestors. That could be 5 infestors over for viOLet. So he's more than happy to oblige to those tiny little trades. If he does a little bit of damage, great.
And viOLet even used it to say, okay, I'm going to slice at the right side and see where your army is. Now he moves out to the center of the map. viOLet, only thing that he could be doing better right now is taking these gas geysers. Other than that, just flawless defense. He's lining this attack up very nicely with the +3 missile attacks. For the first time, he is going to be quite a ways ahead in the upgrade count compared to his opponent.
Now, if he wins this battle, he will have a lot of momentum. If you look at the units lost tab, they're actually very, very equal, so you can see how well Sortof has been doing. But this is going to be very difficult. Nice fungal growth on top of a lot of the roaches, and you can see Sortof not prepared for this. Infested Terrans being spewed out. Will it be enough, though? Day 9.
Dude, the roach count from viOLet is tremendous. He is winning on the ground in strides, Sortof desperately trying to throw down more and more infested Terran eggs, but his own infestors get nabbed by a big fungal, and we're seeing Sortof make some headway, but 30 more roaches are on the way for viOLet. The broodlords have fallen. Sortof is retreating. He's losing his infestors, but it's a big line of blue coming out of viOLet's base.
So much momentum coming out from that last attack. On top of that, don't forget the upgrade advantage going in for viOLet. He has that +3 attack, as you were talking about, to only the +2 attack from Sortof. So that's definitely substantial. Any trades at this point is going to be fantastic for viOLet.
Going for the Roach Warren, that's going to make it very difficult to build roaches. viOLet now sweeping in, picking off queens, instantly going for the expansion where there's some vulnerable Hydralisks and small numbers Hydralisks get owned by roaches. And over at the left, we're seeing again more burrow obnoxiousness while 7 more broodlords get made.
7 more broodlords. It's not normal that you see something like that, especially in a map like Entomb Valley where it's all spread out. But it's at a point where Sortof just doesn't have the capacity. Now losing some infestors. Wow, so unfortunate. And it's doing more insult to injury. Sortof just being taken out all over the place. viOLet outplaying him very handily over here in game number 5.
viOLet looks so strong in every matchup. It's amazing to think that he just played 1 game against Sortof, saw him play 1 best-of-3, and then adapted his style to be the opposite of what we normally see out of viOLet. We got to see this very passive player out of viOLet. And I mean, even more interestingly, we got to see viOLet play passively in a way that baited Sortof into making these overly aggressive pushes. Again, forcing Sortof to do things that are out zone.
And you know, Day 9, I do want to say one thing. We might be getting to a point where there's too many broodlords out in the field. 11 broodlords, that's a lot of supply. 44 supply. Think what you can do with that. You can get 22 infestors, 22 roaches, and if Sortof notices this, he could potentially play the counter-attacking game, although it's hard for him to do so. He's not even max, so maybe it's just viOLet is so far ahead that he just wants to say, okay, get out of my game.
I mean, I can't agree with you enough, Andre. I mean, having 2 lords falls very quickly. 11 infestors out on the field. viOLet does have a pretty high energy count. Sortof has a lot of infested Terrans about to lob, and there it is. And oh, these broodlords are in a terrible position. The concave edge goes huge favor to Sortof.
And look at those upgrades. They're 0-0. Don't forget the melee attack really isn't upgraded at all, but there's just too much stuff. Sortof was not maxed out in that last attack, and the Broodlords are still going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Game.
GG.
Your second finalist, the last game of the day.